One of my pet peeves is when a content creator says I love you to their fans. Because to me, the intention behind the act is not inherently bad, but rather it's the fact that it kind of nullifies or makes the word love feel like it doesn't have much value. Because think about what it really means to love someone. Because the way I see it, loving someone requires you actually knowing them. So when a stranger tells you I love you, to a bunch of random million people or thousands of people that they don't know. To me, it kind of just treats love as though it's like a throwaway word. When to me, love is something that actually means something. And I don't really like it when content creators say, oh, I love you or I love you guys. Cause it's like, no, you don't love them. You love what they do for you. You love that they brought you to where you are, but you don't actually love them for who they are. Like you're not gonna be there to wish them happy birthday or be there when they're sick or talk to them when they need a friend. Like you don't actually love them. And to me, it bothers me because like I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not gonna tell you that I love you. And it's not because I hate any of you guys, but it's because I don't know you guys. And the same way I wouldn't be offended if you don't say I love you to me because you don't know me. Because to love someone requires attention, attention to detail. That's what shows how someone loves you. Because, like, here's the thing, right? People often tie love to how you feel. And while I do believe that love elicits feelings, I am of the opinion that the greatest love is really always going to be shown through action. Yeah, what we feel is can be an example of love. I do believe that, but how we actually treat people shows that they love you. Because I always ask people who say that love is just a feeling. It's like, okay, then does someone love you if they do nothing for you? If they make no effort to do anything for you? And they'll say, no, no, they don't love me. It's like, wait a minute, why? Because it's like, how could they not love you in that situation? Because if love is a feeling, then yeah, they don't have to do anything to prove that they love you. But clearly, we have an understanding that love is far more than just, oh, having a feeling. When I feel angry, I don't need to do anything to you to feel angry about you. But love requires something to be done and for us to act because it's like with my friends, I love a lot of my friends, but there are some friends I won't say I love you to. And it's not because I don't want to love them, but to me, I have to grow to believe that I do love you because I think a lot of times we like people, but we don't necessarily truly love them. Because to me, love is branded and sacrifice. Love means something. And when we just throw it away, to me, it comes off as insincere. It's like when one friend says, I love you, bro. It's like, do you love me? Because, like, you got to really think what that means. Because, there's different types of love. There's romantic love. There's love that you feel sexually towards someone. There's love that you feel towards your family and friends. There's different types of love. So it's important to understand, do you truly love them? Would you be willing to be there when times are difficult? Because love is defined by action. So when a friend tells me I love them, or that they love me, I should say, I question it because if you don't know me like that, if you haven't known me for so long, don't tell me that you love me. Show that you love me because I think that's also what it means to love is showing through action. And it's always bothered me when I'll see a content creator say, "Oh, I love you guys." It's like, "No, you don't. You really really don't." Because loving someone means something. It's kind of like the what's often quoted in the Bible, right? About to love your neighbor as yourself, right? And it's a hard verse to live by. And I don't even say that I really love everyone and I'm that very good at it. However, one thing I've kind of come to realize with that part of the Bible, where it says love your neighbor as yourself, is the part of it that says love your neighbor. Now, think about it. What does a neighbor really mean to us? Like, really intentionally, what does it mean? It's someone that is in close proximity to where we are. That's what it means to have a neighbor. Is that you cannot have a neighbor if they're not close to you. Like the guy who lives in Kansas is not my neighbor, but the guy who lives right next to me in my apartment, that is my neighbor. So when the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, I'm not trying to come up with my own interpretation. I'm just saying how I feel that it is that to love a neighbor or to truly love your neighbor, you have to know who they are. You can't love someone that you don't know, but a neighbor is someone that you do know or that you can come to know because they're in proximity to you. And So when we say, if I say to a random homeless man, I love you, it's like, do I? Now, I can show that I love them if I make a consistent effort to be there and help them out. Then that's when I believe that I love that person. But if I say it to a random person, it doesn't mean anything. If I say it to a random stranger, it's like, oh, I love you. What does that even mean? Because you don't know anything about them. Literally anything. You don't care about a single thing. Because when you say I love you to a random stranger, do you generally care about what goes on in their life? Or after you say I love you to that stranger, you go on, you go home, you live the next 70 years of your life, and you never think about that person once. Is that love? No, that's not love. And I get so annoyed because it's like people wonder why they're so heartbroken in society, why they're hurting so much. It's because you're surrounded by people who don't love you, don't truly love you. Sure, they may say that they love you, but do they show? Are they willing to put attention towards you? Because love requires that you give attention to someone else. And the fact that so many times we are fighting for people, we're fighting for situationships, we're fighting for people in our lives to stay in our lives who don't give us the time of day, who don't give any energy, they don't sacrifice anything. Because here's how I see it. Call me foolish, right? But love is based in sacrifice. That is true love. And maybe y'all will disagree with this, but I think it is based in sacrifice. To truly love someone, you have to not think of yourself, but think of them first. That's what defines it. It's not about how you feel, right? You may feel a certain way, but like I remember one of the best things I learned is about how people will say, "Oh, love doesn't feel anything. Like I don't feel like it, right?" I remember hearing from a pastor who made a very good point about how, by the way, this pastor turned out to be a horrible person, but they made a great point, right? That do you think that your mother doesn't love you just because she doesn't feel like changing your diapers? Like in that moment of when she helped you out, when she treated you as a baby, when she fed you, when she got annoyed that you woke her up at 3 a.m. in the morning, do you think that she stopped loving you just because she didn't feel like helping you? Or did she show that she loved you, that in spite of what she feels, she decided to help you and be there for you? Is that the true love? And I think it is because true love does things for others in spite of what we feel, in spite of not feeling like in spite of feeling I don't want to do this for them. I don't do that. Because, like, I remember I learned this from Medea about how, like, just because they love you, that doesn't mean that they have to like you. Because liking someone and loving someone is two different things. You can like someone and not really truly care about them. There's a lot of peers that I like them, like they're cool, but I don't truly care about them. I don't truly love them. I'm not there for them. I'm not going to willingly make sacrifices to help them out, right? And that's like one of those things that you have to understand is that are you liked or are you loved? Because love will be there for you when you're struggling. Someone who likes you, they won't necessarily be there for you when times are hard. They may like you, just the way like a coworker may quit from a job and I'm like, sucks that John quit. I really like the guy. But if I loved John, if I loved him as my friend, I would reach out to John. I would say, "Hey, John, what's going on, man? Like, let's hang out. Let's do this." But to so many oftentimes, that's a horrible way of phrasing things. Oftentimes, is that we just like people. We don't love them. When you say I love you, do it with intentionality. Because when I say I love you to someone, I mean it. It's why I struggle to say that I loved someone in my past that has situationship. I did say that a couple times that I loved her. The more I think about it, it's like, did I? Or did I like how she made me feel? And I think it's important to value the meaning of love and how it affects us. Because if we say love too much, it begins to lose its meaning and lose its value. When you just throw away a word like that, it does essentially lose power. We so many words like that we used to use in a certain way lost its value or their value because we just kept on saying it. I'm not saying that you should never say I love you, but make sure that you really mean it because to me love requires action, it requires sacrifice. When you say I love you to someone, in my opinion, I believe that you are saying I am willing to sacrifice for you in spite of my own good when it counts. And that's what it means to love someone. So be careful about how you say love or when you say love because you want it to mean something. Because the world already suffers by not being loved and not having people who love them. Not saying I'm perfect. I'm Mr. Lover guy. I'm great. I love everyone. I'm so perfect. No, I'm not. I suck. And that's fine. But one thing that has given me cause and care and put me through this hard world at times is that in spite of all my flaws, in spite of all my stupidity, there are people who love me. I think I did this. I'm so horrible. I did these. I felt these things. I did this. And I think to myself, but people love me in spite of who I was. And that's what it means to love is for someone to love you even when you're unlikable, to sacrifice being around someone who is naturally unlikable because they care about you. That's what it means to love someone. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Bit of a long video, but y'all have a wonderful day, and I'm not going to say that I love you because I want it to mean something. Bye bye.